This is the handout for section 4.2, angles of triangles. We're going to fold this over towards the dotted line. And this is something that we've already looked at before, is that the interior angle sum says that when you add all the angles together, they equal 180. That means that to solve the angle C, what we would have to do is take 180 minus 45 minus 95, and that gives you 40. That means that the measurement of angle C would be 40. Right here, we also have to remember other angle theorems that we know. For example, we know that vertical angles are equal. That would mean that this one's 50. Our last one would give us this angle right here. We could use that theorem that when we add them all together, they're supposed to give you 180. So if we subtract 40 and subtract 50, that's going to give us what's left, which is 90. The other theorem that we needed to remember is that if the sides are equal, then their base angles are also equal, giving me that this one's 50. And I'm going to highlight these two just so you can remember that it's another rule. How do we get that tip right here? It's still 180 minus 50 for this angle, and then minus 50 for the other angle. And that's equal to 80. This theorem is also new to us. It says the exterior angle theorem. And what that says is that if I add these two inside angles, if I add these two, it's going to give me the sum of these two. The sum of this one, sorry. So what does that mean? That means if I add 95 and 45, which is 104, that is the measure of x. Okay, so let's remember all the rules that I said. One is when the lines show that the sides are equal, so are the base angles. That means that I would have to figure out what is left. 180 minus 92 gives me 88 degrees left for the other two angles. I'm going to have to take 88 and divide by 2, which gives me 44, as this angle right here and this one right here. Because they have to be equal thanks to this notation. We also need to remember that vertical angles are equal. That makes this one 44 and 44. And that the sum of a triangle is equal to 180. That means 180 minus 100 minus 44 is going to give me what's left on this angle, which is 36. If you work on the inside, these are important things to note that BCE, CEG are collinear, and then these are not collinear. Why does that matter? Because sometimes we need to remember about linear pairs. We're going to use the fact that 51 plus 47 added together gives me the outside angle. So I'm going to write it here. 47 plus 51 is supposed to give me that outside angle, 98. And I'm going to highlight it just to remind you that that's the new theorem we learned. The other reason that I did that is so once we start figuring out information, you don't have to go in order. You can go by the information that you know. Let's see. It wants angle ACB. ACB. So what we could have done is subtract these from 180. But that's why I solved for this one. So now we know that 180 minus 98 is equal to 82. And that's the angle sum. How do I know that? Well, this is a linear pair. That means when we add them together, they're supposed to give me 180. That's why I subtracted a 98, and what's left, 82, is the other angle. BCD, we're already solved for, and that was 98. Angle DBC, well, we know that a triangle is equal to 180. One angle is already 98, and the other one is 48. So we subtract it, and that equals 34. That means that this angle right here is 34. Okay, next. So even if the picture looks confusing, what you want to do is identify things that you know, but let's go ahead and start trying to go in order. A, B, C is this angle right here. I'm going to highlight this big old triangle that we have right here. And the reason that I want to highlight is because from that big triangle, we have one angle's already 50 and the other one's 60. So we're going to do 180 minus 50 minus 60, and that's equal to 70. That means that this angle right here is 70 degrees. BCD is this angle right here. And that's why this statement is important. BCE is collinear. That means this makes a line. Why is that important? Now this is a linear pair. So I know that when they're added together, they're equal to 180. So 180 minus 100 is equal to 80. Means this one right here is 80. I'm going to say it again. This is a line, so 100 plus 80 gives me 180, a linear pair. A, D, C, this one right here. Well, I can't really figure out how I can use triangles here. I have a big triangle over here, and I really don't have that information. But I can figure out this angle right here. For this angle, I have 160 already used up. That means this has to be 20, so the angles all together can give me 180. So I didn't go in order. I needed that information to figure this one out. I'm going to assume that ADE is a linear pair, and I have to take 180 minus 20, and that gives me 60. 160 as this angle right here. Okay, what does that mean? That means that when I add these two together, they give me a line 180. BCF. That's this angle right here. Well, we can use that it's vertical to 100, so it is also 100. I'm going to say it again. This is vertical to this angle right here, making it 100. CBF, as you can tell, I'm going in order. CBF, that means we're talking about this angle right here. I already have 100 and I already have 25. So what's left is going to give me that angle measure. 180 minus 100 minus 25 equals 55. So I have 55 right here. CD, E, we already solved for it before, and remember what I said, it was 180 minus 100 minus 60 that let me know that this was 20. ECF is this angle right here. And it's vertical to 80, so this is also 80. CEF is this one right here. Well, we already have 180 minus 80 because of this angle, minus 30 because of this angle, and that's going to give me what's left, which is 70. I want you to tell also, though, that 70 plus 110 is going to give me 180, which is a linear pair. So you could have figured it out a different way. I also know that when you add these two together, I'm supposed to get this. So 80 plus 30 is 110. Let's go to E, F, G. That's this angle right here. I hope you can tell by the big picture that there's a big triangle that says that 25 plus 30 plus something is supposed to give me a 90-degree angle. So from this one, we're going to do 90 minus 30 minus 25, which equals 35. That means this one right here is 35 degrees. And then EGF is this angle right here. The letter in the middle helps you identify which angle we're talking about. And we can do 180 minus 35 because of this one, minus 110 because of this one. Gives me another 35 for a different reason. Because these two base angles are the same, we will know that these two sides are the same, even though that information is not necessary for the questions being asked. On the next section, we can figure out this angle right here, but let's see what it asks. HJI, it does ask for this angle. So I'm going to do 180 minus 30 because of this one, minus 90 because of that one, and that equals 60 degrees. KJL, so this one's 60 degrees. KJL, J is telling you that that's the angle we're looking for. Is this one right here? Well, that's vertical. So I'm going to write vertical on the left-hand side and say that that's why this one's also 60. Well, why didn't I do that before? Well, we had a limited space before, but you could always do that. HJK is the outside angle. Well, we know that these two will be a linear pair, so that's 180 minus 60 gives you 120 as that angle measure. IJL is also this outside angle. Since I know this one's 120 and this one's vertical to that one, This will also be 120. I'm going to highlight this one because that's the new rule for this section, is that when you take these two opposite angles, it will equal the outside. This is what your test questions will look like. We're going to add these two together. That is 4x minus 5 plus 3x plus 1. And that's equal to 132. We're going to add these two together. That gives me 7x. And negative 5 plus 1 is a negative 4. That's equal to 132. We're going to add 4 to both sides. 7x is equal to 136. Divide by 7 to both sides. X is equal to 19.4. All right, and then for pictures like this, M, N, O. This is a linear pair, so we know that we're going to take 180 and subtract 145, and that's going to be equal to 35 degrees. M, N, O. N, M, O is this angle up here. Well, we knew that this one's 35 now, so we could do 180 because it's still a triangle, minus 105 for this angle, minus 35 for this angle, and that's equal to 40 degrees. I don't usually like to jumble up work this way. I make it off to the side and make sure I have plenty of space. But then it's hard to tell which work goes with which problem. Okay, OMP, that's this angle right here. It's linear with 105. So you do 180 minus 105. That gives you OMP is this top angle right here. But we can still figure this out. We have this one up here, which I was saying it was 180 minus 105. That gives you 75 here. Well, why does that matter? Since this is 75 and it's telling you that the side lengths are equal, then this is also 75. That's going to help me figure out this problem, and what I'm going to do is make a little arrow so I have plenty of space. 180 minus 75 minus 75. What's left is 30, and that's that angle measure up here. MOP is what I was looking for, and we already did that one. I'm going to show the work again. That was 180 minus 105 because it's linear with 105. That gave me 75 as this answer. OMP, OPM is this angle right here. We know that it is 75 degrees because of this notation right here. It tells you since the sides are the same, the base angles will be the same. PMQ is this angle right here. Well, we kind of need this one. We know how to figure that one out. It's a linear pair with this one, so it has to be 105. That means that what's left is this little angle up here. So 180 minus 105 minus 60 is equal to 15. And then QPM was 180 minus 75 because I wanted a linear pair, and that's how I got that this equals 105. On your homework, I would like that you show your work in this manner with plenty of space. Please don't try to cram in the answers for your homework.